What's up? What's up, my folks? This is your boy Z the Real here, and then I'm just gonna basically do a video to basically explain that Go Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu, the Earthlings who are Z fighters, they're never gonna surpass Frieza. This is basically a response video to Carthu's Dojo, and then for those who watch his videos, he says a lot of outlandish things. Okay, he says some things that actually possibly can't happen on the show. Things that are not quite accurate at all. So he makes this video saying that he surpassed Frieza. And what he mean by he surpassed Frieza, he's talking about Yamcha here, right? He's talking about Yamcha, Tien, and he's talking about Krillan. Now I'm gonna let you know now that I'm an old Dragon Ball Z fan, right? I've been watching Dragon Ball Z since I was a little kid in the 1990s, right? I'm 29. I'm about to be 30 years old in February, so I've been watching. I go way back. I represent the older generation of Dragon Ball Z fans, right? Because for those of you who don't know that Dragon Ball Z started off in the 1980s, roughly 89, 87. Okay? And Dragon Ball came back even before that. Dragon Ball was in the early 80s, but Dragon Ball Z goes back a very long time. They've been around over 30 years. Okay? And just a disclaimer, this is not a beef. Okay, I'm not trying to beef with the young man, but I just got to clear this up that a lot of what he said in that video is just inaccurate at all. Because of those that watched the entire Dragon Ball Z dub, the entire show, right? And you watched the whole movies, that means from the Garlic Jr. saga, let's say the Dead Zone, right? Because people forget that Garlic Jr. also had his own saga, but he started off in the movie, right? The very first Dragon Ball Z movie was based on them defeating Garlic Jr. all the way until Dragon Ball Z Super now, until you see this Broly movie, right? For those that watch the entire series, then you will know that characters such as Yamcha, Tien, and Krillan, they were never going to surpass Frieza at all. Never. Okay? Now, if you really want to know how strong Mega Frieza really was, then I suggest you go to Broku72 and look at him on and look at the video he did on how strong Mega Frieza really was. Right? That's the video you need to see, because that guy, Broku72, breaks it down accurately. He breaks down the power level. He explains just how strong Mega Frieza was. All right? So I'm letting you know this now, man. I've been watching this a very long time. And Carthu's Dojo comes off as somebody who is a young man, right? This is somebody who's played too many video games. He played too many Dragon Ball Fighters, right? He's reading too much of these books. And now he thinks that somebody like Yamcha can surpass Frieza. Basically, let me break this down, right? First of all, let me start by talking about Yamcha right now. This is the same Yamcha that got killed off by a Cyberman, right? We all seen that Saiyan saga. And even before the Saiyan saga started, right? Because see, if you're going to talk about Frieza, you got to go to the very beginning. Before the Saiyan saga started, right? When Raditz announced that there were more Saiyans coming, and Piccolo had to get everybody to prepare for Nappa and Vegeta coming. And while Goku was on other world traveling to King Kai's planet and training at 20 times gravity, Yamcha and Tien and Chaozu and Krillin, they all went to go see the Lookout, right? They went to go train with King or what was it? Yeah, they went to Mr. Popo and they went to train with Kami. All right, because they had to go to the hyperbolic time chamber and train within that time, because they only had a certain period of time. I think it was a year they had to train, right? And when they went to Kami's Lookout, Mr. Popo told Yamcha to his face, "Can't you see that you are weak?" Right? Popo told Yamcha to his face that you're weak. Right? And then during the simulation, they fought against two generic Saiyans, natural blooded Saiyans, right? In a simulation, because Kami, I guess, took images of their planet and put Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, and I believe it was Krillin might have been there too into simulation, or it just might have been these three, right? They put him in a simulation, and then they failed to defeat those two Saiyans. So then when Nappa and Vegeta came to the Earth, right? When that started, because they had to hold it, and when they was holding on the Saiyans long enough for Goku to come back to Earth and make it in time, Yamcha here got murdered by a plant. He got killed off by a Cyberman that Nappa planted in the ground. And that's practically his own fault for getting caught off guard. Because, of course, nobody knew that the Cyberman can blow themselves up. But again, he got killed by Cyberman, right? And if you look at the Namek now, during the time that Krillin and Gohan both went to Namek with Bulma to collect the 7 Dragon Balls to try to wish these guys back, Yamcha was already dead. So by the time Frieza was already introduced, he was already dead, right? So again, you can't surpass somebody. Yeah, he trained with King Kai, but again, the man was dead, right? So then, let's fast forward to the Android Saga, which he has a thumbnail of him getting stabbed by Dr. Gero. And by the way, why would you even put a picture of him getting stabbed by Dr. Gero and now he's supposed to surpass Frieza? Like, that didn't make no sense, but let's continue on, right? So, when Frieza went to the, came to Earth to try to get revenge on Goku, and I remind you, Frieza in his mecha form could easily blew up Earth. He could have blew up Earth the same way he did the Sand Planet of King Vegeta. Yeah, Planet Vegeta, right? But he chose not to because he needed that from Goku. So when Frieza's spaceship landed on Earth, and you see Frieza and King Cole, right, with their minions, or their army, Yamcha didn't want no part of that. Okay? So what I don't understand about Carthu's Dojo, how you gonna say Yamcha's supposed to be this strong on Earthling when, again, man, this man got killed by a Cyberman, by a plant. And then here's more embarrassment, right? During the Android Saga, in between the time Trunks came to the future and warned them, gave Goku the medicine, combat that heart disease, right? During that 3 years, he told him that the android is going to arrive. Yamcha couldn't even train in 20 times gravity in the machine that Bulma built specifically for Vegeta here to train in, right? Because remember, during that time, Vegeta was training to reach his Super Saiyan form because he was jealous and envious of Goku reaching it before him, right? So to reach his form, Vegeta had to train in 20 times gravity, just like he would on his own home planet, right? Once Yamcha turned on the machine in Bulma's gym little chamber there, once he turned on the machine, he almost killed himself trying to get out of there. He could not train at 20 times gravity. And furthermore, he was mad at the fact that Trunks told him that he is the son of Bulma and Vegeta. So in other words, Vegeta already took his woman. So that was more insult to injury. Right? So within that saga, not only was Yamcha not strong enough to equal with Vegeta, he had his woman taken by Vegeta. Okay? And they apparently broke up between that time anyway. But that's Yamcha, right? Yamcha is not meant to be that strong. And let's remember this too, man. This man also struggling against the Cell Juniors. Right? During the Cell Games arc. Okay? Buu Saga, Yamcha did not take part in that at all. He basically retired from fighting. Dragon Ball Z Super, he don't fight at all. That man was not even in the tournament of power, right? So that should pretty much cover Yamcha. Right? So how the hell is he going to surpass Freiza? Freiza that came back at least 3 times. If not 4. Yeah, he came back like 4 times, right? During the time, the first time on Namek. Second time when Trunks killed him. Third time was when he came back to Earth, right? And he fought Gohan in the future, right? This is in the future, right? He fought against Goku and Vegeta in that Super Saiyan Blue forms when he turned in Gold form, got killed again, defeated. And then and then I think, in the 4th time he came back in the tournament power. Yamcha was nowhere, he didn't even fight alongside him at all. So no, man, Yamcha is not belongs where he should be, right? He's just a support character. Yamcha's not meant to be that strong. He's not meant to surpass no villain, right? If this was a tier list in the ranking mode, Yamcha would be above Hercule, Videl, and Chaozu. Above Chaozu, he'd go right there, but nothing else, right? Now, as for Tien, right? This guy, Tien, right? Now, I would say Tien, out of him, Yamcha, and Krillan, and Chaozu, he's pretty much one of the most, like, I say, gifted out the Z fighters because of his abilities to multiply himself. He can grow limbs. He has the Dodori. He has different techniques as he learned from his master in the Dragon Ball series, right? When Goku fought him, and Yamcha fought him when he was younger, right? So he's definitely the more gifted. But the problem with Tien is that he's majorly flawed, especially when he does his tri-beam. His tri-beam takes up a significant amount of energy to the point where he gets exhausted upon death. And we've seen this even in the Namek saga, right? Because Nappa damn near wiped out everybody, right? When Chaozu tried to do one last attack, I think when Chaozu tried to sacrifice himself in order to save Tien, that wasn't even enough. I think Tien blasted his last tri-beam, his most strongest tri-beam. That didn't work. Nappa was still standing. It was almost just like when Vegeta basically used the final flash. He launched the final flash against Raccoon You know what I'm saying? When they were fighting the Ginyu Force, and all they did was knock the armor out of Raccoon, but Raccoon was still standing. Same thing with Tien, right? Tien killed himself trying to kill Nappa and revenge Chiaotzu, but that didn't work. So that should tell you, I told you he's not strong enough for them Saiyans. And before I continue, man, Carthu Dojo even tried to say that the Earthlings have power levels, right? Higher than Raditz. That's not accurate at all because Raditz was a lot weaker than both Vegeta and Nappa. Nappa was already far stronger than Raditz. And they even said it, he's weak. That's why he sent them first. So remember, when Frieza assigned Vegeta and Nappa to go to Earth and conquer it, right? They sent Nappa first to try to persuade Goku and see why Goku was taking too long to conquer that planet. Because throughout the Dragon Ball Z series, according to the movies, which by the way, I don't know why people don't say those are canon, but anyways, throughout the movies, we learned that Frieza was using the Saiyans to conquer planets, right? So again, when Tien fought Nappa, he basically killed himself trying to defeat Nappa, right? So again, that led to his death, you know what I'm saying, the first part of the show, right? And again, throughout the series, man, Tien is not even shown in any of the movies. Just like Yamcha and Chiaotzu, right? When Goku, Gohan, Krillin, Trunks, Piccolo, and all these other fighters, and Vegeta, in a lot of movies, in some of the movies, like when they fight Broly, Bojack, when they fight Android 13, Tien is not even taking part in those movies at all. Why? Because he's not that strong. Okay? Y'all gotta understand that, man. Tien is majorly flawed. And then he brings up Cell, right? When Tien fought Cell, that tri-beam did nothing against Cell. All it did was stall Cell out. Cell kept bouncing right back up. All you see is Tien launching multiple tri-beams. Cell just keep bouncing right back up like a ball, right? That wasn't gonna stop Cell. And that was Cell when he absorbed 17 in his second form, right? Cell in his second form was already stronger than Tien. Cell was able to last just enough for Tien to tire himself out. Then he defeated him and then absorbed his powers, absorbed his technique. Okay? So you gotta understand that, man. Tien is majorly flawed. He don't have the abilities. He can't go the distance like Krillin. Krillin can go the distance longer than Tien. And I'm gonna get to Krillan in just a few seconds. But no, man, Tien, even though he's as good as he is, right? Yeah, he did fight in Tournament of Power. Tien doesn't take part in many battles. Even in the Buu Saga, he didn't take part in that. Like Yamcha, he struggled against the Cell Juniors, which Gohan had to bail all of them out. Okay? And that's another thing too, man. Just because Tien and Yamcha train with Piccolo don't make them stronger. Don't mean they're gonna surpass Frieza. Come on now. Piccolo when he was absorbed with Nail was even strong enough to defeat Frieza, right? Neither did Gohan and Vegeta. They all struggled against Frieza. It took Goku basically in his Super Saiyan form, and for Frieza to basically get sliced by his own attack is what defeated Frieza, not them. Because let's be honest too, man. If Tien and Yamcha would have traveled on Namek with Goku, not even Goku, but Gohan and Krillin and Bulma when they was collecting Dragon Balls, those guys would have struggled just as much as Krillin and Gohan did against the Ginyu Force. Okay? Because remember, Gildo almost killed Gohan and Krillin, right? With using his paralysis and getting a large tree trunk. It took Vegeta kicking Gildo in the back of the head to stop that attack. So those two were definitely not going to fare against the Ginyu Force. Yeah, they defeated Ginyu Force in King Kai's planet, but that was different. Okay? But anyways, man, yeah, so Tien, no. Not strong enough to surpass Frieza. He wasn't even strong enough to defeat the second form Cell. Now, Krillin. I would say Krillin, out of these three, are pretty much the strongest out of them, only because he's known Goku for longer than him, right? Krillin's been best friends for Goku since they were children, so Krillin has years and years of training along with Goku to make himself stronger, right? Out of them three, he's the strongest Earthling on planet throughout the show. Just because his chemistry with Goku alone, he's trained with Goku in the past, right? But even Krillin himself could not defeat none of the main villains. So Krillin was just there to be Goku's best friend and support him. You know what I'm saying? Use the solar flare when you need to get them out of trouble. Krillin is crafty. I give him that. Out of most of Z-Fire, he's the most craftiest. But again, Krillin is not strong enough to go head to head with no villain. Yeah, he held his own against first form Cell, but that was pretty much it. When Cell boosted up to a second form and when Cell absorbed Android 18, that was it. Krillan was not even able to revenge 18, which is the love of his life. But I will give Krillan his credit. He lasted in more battles than both Tien and Yamcha, right? Because remember, Krillan helped Gohan defeat Garlic Jr., right? In the Garlic Jr. saga, right? He was around to see the battles between Android 13. He was around in the BoJack movie. He was even around in the Broly movie, right? So Krillin saw his share of battles. But again, that man, Krillin was not good enough to defeat a lot of these villains. Krillin is not even strong enough to defeat the sub-level minions. The sub-level henchmen that's under the main antagonist, right? He's not even strong enough to defeat them. Okay? So y'all gotta understand that. Like, he's not that strong. He's definitely not stronger than Piccolo. And again, man, you can't compare Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin to Trunks and Gohan because those two are half Saiyans. Remember, when Freiza came back during the Android saga before Cell was released, right before Cell appeared, Trunks had already gone from his future. And then Trunks' timeline, if y'all watch the Future Trunks movie, which I'm pretty sure Carthu Dojo probably forgot about, the androids killed everybody, including Krillin. Android 718 was the only two activated, right? 16 wasn't activated. He was basically in his pod. This was right before Cell appeared. They pretty much wiped out every Z fighter except for Gohan. And this is Gohan that was pretty much in his, I'll say in between his late 20s and early 30s, right? And Trunks. And of course, with the exception of Master Roshi, those are like the only three Z fighters that pretty much remained. Vegeta had already gotten killed. Piccolo was gone. All these guys here were dead. And remember, Goku had already died because Dr. Gero had successfully infected with that heart disease. I mean, that means Android 19 and 20 had already wreaked havoc on the Earth and they killed Goku. Vegeta, at Super Saiyan form, would have already killed both of them. Well, he would have already killed 19. Gero had already activated 17, 18, but he got murdered in each of the time. And in the movie, in both Android 13 movie, the Android 13 movie and the Future Trunks movie, it shows Dr. Gero being murdered by 17, 18. Okay, so we know that happened. But again, in that movie, Trunks was like the lone survivor because they killed Gohan near the end. And this is Gohan with one arm, right? Future Gohan. So again, Trunks was already trained by Gohan, okay? And Gohan taught him how to turn Super Saiyan, right? So you got to understand that Frieza was not expecting to see Trunks at all. Trunks was unexpected, okay? So if you was able to get to Super Saiyan level, you was not going to defeat Frieza at all. That's obvious. Okay? That's why people need to stop taking that video so seriously. Okay, I understand that Carthu likes the Earthlings. Okay, and him saying what he's saying is a lot. He's putting a lot on Yamcha and Tien, okay? Don't get me wrong, they all good martial artists in their own right, but they're never going to be strong enough. They're never going to equal with Gohan, Goku, or Trunks or Vegeta. They're never equal with Piccolo at all. Those fighters are on highly power levels because of what they are, right? Remember, Piccolo is a Namekian that was even fused in with Kami during the Android saga, right? Trunks and Gohan are half Saiyans like their fathers. And of course, Goku and Vegeta is not human. They come from the Saiyan planet, right? So those guys were never going to surpass Frieza. I'm sorry, man. That's never going to happen. Okay, I understand y'all people play video games. That's what the video games do is to make Yamcha and Tien strong, but no. Throughout the series, they only serve their purpose, right? They're only there to serve a certain role. And that's just to support Goku. Matter of fact, Yamcha is mostly used as a comic relief anyway, like a Hercule is. Because he has his funny moments. Krillin, I would say, is probably the strongest out of them three, but that's it. Right? They can't equal with Goku, or they can't equal with Trunks or Gohan. And remember, this is Gohan, even as a kid, was able to basically damage Raditz, right? He bruised Raditz just enough for Goku to grab Raditz and for Piccolo to deliver the special beam cannon. This is Gohan who held his own against all of Garlic Jr.'s minions, right? And this is Garlic Jr. that basically is like the only other villain besides Emperor Pilaf throughout the entire Dragon Ball series that was actually able to collect all 7 Dragon Balls and make himself immortal. Gohan held his own against, it was literally 5 against 1. And he held his own against all of those guys. The Spice Boys, including Garlic Jr., all buffed up too, I add, right? And pushed Garlic Jr. into the dead zone. Then, on top of that, he wound up taking up Android 13 with no fear. He held his own against Android 13. Okay, he fought against Bojack even after defeating Cell. Okay? No, Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin were never going to equal up to Gohan at all. Gohan at one time was stronger than Goku. Right? And then on top of that, Trunks was on a whole nother level too, man. Again, Trunks was good enough, was just strong enough to defeat Frieza because, again, he was a Super Saiyan like Goku, right? And he bodied both Trunks and Trunks bodied both King Cole and Frieza. But the problem with Trunks, he wasn't good enough to defeat the androids. Neither was he good enough to defeat Cell at all, man. Until he went back to the future timeline and defeated Imperfect Cell. But Perfect Cell, no, Trunks was even strong enough to defeat him. And as far as Krillin goes, and I would say Android 18 is technically the better fighter than him because she's an android. Dr. Gero implanted her with so many skills and so many techniques, right? This is the Android 18 that basically broke Vegeta's arm, right, when they fought. And basically bodied Trunks in both timelines, right? Trunks had a hard time defeating him, right? So Android 18, I would say, is technically a better fighter than Krillin, but Krillin is a bit stronger. Even then, man, Krillin got eliminated first in the tournament power. That's what's sad about Krillin. He got outstaged by Master Roshi. Master Roshi in the tournament of power technically eliminated 3 fighters from Universe 2. Whereas Krillin was like the first one eliminated. Now, Tien also took part in that tournament of power too, but not Yamcha. So again, I don't want to hear no more about Yamcha being strong. Yamcha's never going to surpass Freiza. Because remember, Freiza was in the tournament of power too. Yamcha did not take part in that at all. Okay? But that's pretty much it, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I love this show, but again, man, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, Krillin, they're only there for a supporting role. They're only there to befriend Goku, right? They're only there to aid Goku throughout his battles, but they're not there to basically be bodying and killing no minions or no antagonists. Okay, that's not their roles. Remember, man, Yamcha had already gave up fighting after Cell was defeated. Matter of fact, after Cell was defeated, both him and Tien basically said they were done fighting. Okay, including Chaozu. Right? They were all finished. Because remember, throughout the entire Buu saga, you didn't see Tien or Yamcha at all because they were done. Right? So again, how they going to surpass Frieza when they didn't even continue battling? And furthermore, you didn't see him in too many movies neither. I think the only movies you see Tien and Yamcha in is probably the early movies, right? I think you see Yamcha in the World's Strongest when they were battling Dr. Euron, but that's pretty much it. Most of the movies basically included Gohan, Goku, of course, Vegeta, Krillin, Trunks, and Piccolo. Right? That was just them main, those initial guys. Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu wasn't in most of those movies. Because remember, in both Bio Broly and all 4 Broly movies that Broly was featured in, Tien and Yamcha did not take part in those movies at all. Okay? And remember, those movies happened in between sagas, right? This is why you gotta watch these movies. Again, man, Tien and Yamcha, they just weren't that strong. Okay? Yes, Krillin appeared in more battles, but again, remember, Frieza basically took Krillin out twice, right? The first time Frieza takes out Krillin in his King Cold form with his horns. He spears through him and throws him in the ocean where Gohan had to try to save him. And then the second time, Frieza in his final form launches Krillin in the air and blows him up, where forced Goku to turn Super Saiyan, and they went on from there. So when Frieza showed up on Earth, Krillin really wasn't trying to face Frieza again. He really wasn't. Because he already knew what happened on Namek. He was still not strong enough to defeat no Frieza. And let's be honest, if Trunks had not came back during the time he did, when Frieza in his mech form arrived with his father, they would have went through numerous episodes trying to hold Frieza off until Goku gets there. And him and Goku and Frieza would have had another battle where Goku defeats him and saves the day before the heart disease would have kicked in. So let's just be honest, man. No, man. Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien, they're strong, but they're not that strong. Okay, they're not Saiyans. They're not half-blood Saiyans, right? They were never going to defeat no Dabura. Okay, they weren't going to defeat no Android 17 or 18, let alone 16. Right? They were never going to defeat no Bojack, no Garlic Jr., or Garlic Jr.'s minions. They weren't even strong enough to defeat no Cooler, right? Even in Cooler's movie. Those guys wasn't going to take part in those battles. Krillin showed more heart than they did. But like I told you, man, Krillin is closest to Goku because of his time in Dragon Ball when he was introduced. No, how the hell is Yamcha going to be? And even Dr. Gero, old as he was, basically beat the crap out of Yamcha then. right? Where they had to use a sensory beam to heal him. That's another thing too, man. How is he going to surpass Freiza when he come and defeat Dr. Gero? Or 19 at that sense, right? And this is Vegeta who basically decapitated Android 19, you know what I'm saying? Basically ripping his head off his body, kicked his head off, right? Again, Vegeta was a Super Saiyan. They ain't. So, no, I mean, they strong. They're not that strong, man. Carthu's Dojo is just putting too much on him. He's giving him way too much credit, man. He's going overboard with it. And this is another thing my Carthu's do. He got another video who's saying that Goku going Kaioken and then Super Saiyan Blue for a mistake. When everybody knows that Goku trained, the Kaioken is natural for Goku to activate because he used that first. When he trained with King Kai, Goku used Kaioken. Kaioken was the fastest way for Goku to reach Super Saiyan because it elevated his power level when he goes times 10. So when Goku was seen battling Vegeta, when he was on during the Saiyan saga, and when he's battling Lord Slug, he technically was in Super Saiyan then when he had the red hair. For those, go watch that Lord Slug movie when Lord Slug was another Namekian who invaded Earth, right? And in that movie, Goku was able to transform Super Saiyan using a Kaioken technique. Except the Kaioken, his hair was spiked up like a Super Saiyan, it just wasn't yellow. That's when he first ever turned Super Saiyan. Was at that Lord Slug movie. And that was before, I believe, they went to Namek. Well, it might have been, yeah, I think it was, yeah, that was before Namek. Right? I think that movie came out before, yeah, I'm not mistaken, that was right after, what's McCann was defeated. That was after Vegeta was defeated. That happened, right? Lord Slug invaded Earth. So remember, man, y'all gotta stop putting so much on these warriors. Right? But no, Goku, he gonna try to, Carthu Dojo got a video trying to say that Goku turning Kaioken doing Super Saiyan Blue form of a snake. It's really not. He can naturally turn Kaioken because that was the form he used before he turned Super Saiyan. And then he takes his other forms throughout the series. But no, Kaioken came first. Right? That's the form Goku used in his base form anyway. But anyway, folks, that's the video. Man. Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. For all my Dragon Ball Z fans out there, this is for you. You know, I like anime, but Dragon Ball Z is pretty much my favorite of all time. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. I'll see you soon.